Okay, so when I say you should get this game, I kind of mean that you should get this game if you're the kind of person that likes a challenge. It's the same kind of fun as Super Meat Boy, only it's treated like Mario. So imagine Super Meat Brothers, I guess, in 3D, and you're kind of gonna see where I'm getting with this. Of course, I have quite a few complaints about this game. This level is one of them. I do think that World 4-2 is boring in its atmospherical whatevers. This level is just plain annoying with how hard it is. But luckily, I think this is the last level to really actually provide an annoyingly boring challenge. Or a boringly annoying challenge, depending on how you look at it. These marshmallow people, I have no idea what they're supposed to be, but since they're more or less mini bosses and this stage is like a boss rush, in a way, you're going to be seeing a lot of them, trust me. I'd suggest that you, deal with them as you see fit, I guess, but, just keep in mind you're gonna fight more of them. Interesting thing though, if you happen to defeat one of them and then die, they don't respawn. The big marshmallow guys don't respawn, so you can actually go back to the arena and you don't have to fight them again. Which is kind of cool, I guess. I'm kind of happy about that, especially the second one. But, yeah. Also, this level, I suppose somebody in the American crowd realized, wait a second, this level is freaking hard. So, let's make it really, really easy. Well, we can't do that, John. We can't, like, totally rework this, you know, the entire script of the game. And John was like, you know, you're right. So what we should do instead is we should just add a couple extra lives in really convenient places. So there is literally an extra life floating above the pits of both of the mini-bosses you fight before you get to the end of the stage. In other words, right floating over that hole in the stage arena thing is an extra life in both the first and second encounters of that marshmallow boss guy thing. And you'll be able to collect that extra life and make up for every single time you die, basically. This is the only checkpoint, actually, that's not right next to an extra life, to the best of my knowledge. So, definitely collect those extra lives. You will never run out if, you know, even if you have to waste an entire day here, like I did my first time through. I believe the first time I tried this, it took me around 40 minutes. Or, sorry, the first time was the first time in my life I threw down the controller in fitful anger and stuff, because I was an annoying little kid like that. The second time, I knew what I was doing, and it still took me a while. But when I came back to this game, it took me around 40 minutes. Mainly because of stupid stuff like this that you literally have to memorize the timing of. I believe in this take, what is it, 10, 15, something like that? I don't remember. Anyway. Also, you're gonna notice, besides, wow, that's the only time there's actually been a slowdown in this game for me. Well, one of two places, unless you're trying to force it, but really, slowdown shouldn't be too much of a problem. What I was gonna say was that this game has a really interesting fact about it, that, the entire, game, as I've mentioned before, every boss has a remix of a particular theme, that with that guitar that always goes, bah, 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 or whatever that is. Well, this particular stage sports the, same exact song, so this is actually what you might call the 5th remix of the theme. It's also my least favorite, mainly because there is no effort put into it whatsoever. Maybe this was supposed to be the original theme, and then the other 4 were a remix, and all 4 of them sound 1,000 times better, because, as we all know, remixes always sound better than the originals, right?
Oh God, not this! Anything but this! My ears!
Anyway, that was my last attempt of desperation. We're already up to 6 minutes as far as the time goes, and the hell has not ended yet. But there's extra lives. And pinky medals to galore to collect, etc. Also, by the way, if you keep dying in the same point and only collect 1 extra life per time, even if you only collect 1 Zebby, per life. That's at least 1 extra life every 100 deaths. I'm saying 100 as if it's a plausible thing. Well, sometimes it can be.
For you!
Meat Boy, I'm looking at you. There's one level, I swear, there's around 60 Meat Boys jumping on screen in my respawn. But anyway, we're getting close to the end. Maybe I should actually explain the sumo wrestling marshmallows? Oh, yeah, that might be a good idea. One is red and one is blue once they shrink down. They shrink down after charging at you 3 times or when another marshmallow guy runs into him. When they shrink down, they're gonna either have a north or south charge. You exhibit that particular charge on them and they'll flip around 3 times and then grow back into gigantic sumo wrestler mushroom style. Marshmallow style. If you can push them into the big glowing hole, you will defeat them somehow, because that big glowing hole, might I point out for all the curious, is instant death to Neo. You push one into one hole and then the other into the same hole, and he's just gonna turn back into big sumo wrestler marshmallow dude again. So that last battle might give you some trouble. It didn't for me because, well, I wasted so much time fighting those guys before. I've grown accustomed to it, you might say. This level, however, I will never grow accustomed to. When I went back and played this game again, the first couple of levels seemed hard, and when I got here, it seemed really challenging. When I went back and played through for this playthrough, actually, or Let's Play, or whatever you want to call it, the first couple of levels were really easy, and I enjoyed, seeing how far I had come as a player. Then I played up to this point again, and I forgot how much I hated this game. Well, no, let me rephrase that. How much I hated these last couple of levels and how difficult they are, because I love this game. Don't take the wrong idea, this game is awesome.
For you!
But these last couple of levels truly are the pinnacle of difficulty, and I love it. So here we see the rainbow platform of dashiness. See what I did there? And pistons of stuff. The last couple of rooms aren't supposed to make any sense at all. This is what I was hoping the entire future levels would be like, though, because this is cool. I'm actually really impressed with how this and, of course, World 4-1 turned out. It's 2 and 3 that just leave a bad taste in my mouth because they're both incredibly difficult and incredibly boring. Well, more accurately, one is incredibly boring, one is incredibly difficult, and I don't have tolerance put up with that. This has rainbows, seizures, and a gigantic lava room. This is where I wasted a lot of time, by the way, because, well, for whatever reason, this room is really, really, really hot. Yeah. It's not hard, just long and longer. And, wow. The falling platforms here don't actually kill you. You'd think in the final level they would sink into the lava, but apparently somebody on the development team was getting a little forgiving with the last couple of levels. So, only the idiots of this world will fail on this level, like me. In the meantime, floating yo-yos, everybody. Now, this is really where the main complaint of the game comes from, is, my god, it's so difficult, oh. It's only really difficult if you rush through stuff like I am, or if you really don't know what you're doing, like, well, I've met people. I don't know how to defeat him! Oh, did you try punching the big glowing spot? No, why would I do that? Because that usually means weakness in video games. It does? Also, that's an interesting thing there. There's actually space. Once you knock down the protective wall leading to the next section, you can actually fall in the space in between the wall and the lava, and it counts as a bottomless pit. You'd think Neo would just burn on the edge of the cauldron, but no, he falls to his death in an empty bottomless pit of blackness, which I find an actually really nice touch that they actually realistically decided how to make Neo die. I'd also like to point out that Neo has a different death animation for, well, each hazard that comes about him. He gets hit by an enemy, that'd be anything from a robot, to a frog, to a rat, to a cow! And he'll just sort of fall over and die. He falls into lava or gets burnt on something and he'll have his own animations. He falls into, I don't know, what else does this game have? He falls into a bottomless pit. He's got the most adorable little swimming in the air animation that comes before it. I mean, he really has it all, and I'm really impressed with that. Oh, by the way, just to give you an idea of how long that took me, you know, without edits, check the timer. Yeah, I know. These last 2 levels are rather difficult, but I never had a problem with this. Okay, this last section I do. This is Metal Gear Neo. So should I start singing the music? No? Good. Don't get hit in the spotlight. The spotlight sees you, a laser's gonna fire, you're gonna get shot, you're dead. However, this actually isn't as bad as it seems because you can outrun the lasers. However, be careful because you know how I said take your time with most of this stuff? This section you cannot take your time with. You take your time, eventually the thing apparently decides, well, there is no intruder or whatever they're looking for here. And the platforms start falling. You can also go back for the last pinky medal if you really want to, but if you do, what in the world is wrong with you? Why would you go back for that thing? No, seriously, why would you go back for that? Oh, you want the treasure, don't you? Yeah. Ay, well, I've ranted long enough. I'll catch you guys in the last part where we take the fight directly to Pinky herself. Well, technically, Tex, it's not actually Pinky's territory, it's just the... No, I don't.